Can we shift to talking about the track?
Please.
Which maybe we should have talked about the track. So,
Please.
Dude, this is why maybe I'm a fair weather motocross fan, but
Hashtag hard R.
I think the sport is super motocross. It's super motocross. It's not supercross anymore. Truly.
Yeah.
I'm curious to get your opinion, but when I watch it, I feel less interested because I can't help but to watch it and picture myself riding the certain sections. And when it's like not a track that I feel like I would like riding, I don't like watching it.
Gotcha.
And last night's track, A1's track, the whoops barely are whoops. Yes, they looked like they were still giving people problems, but it's like, come on, there's 9 of them. By the time you mess up, you're in the soft sand at the end. Everybody that crashed in the whoops crashed in the sand. There's short, annoying lanes. There was only one actual rhythm lane. Everything else was like doubles. It just doesn't feel like Supercross. And maybe they're making that obvious. They've renamed the whole thing. Maybe they're like, duh, guys, this isn't really Supercross anymore. Get with the program. Do we all have to accept that it's just not going to be the same anymore? Does Moto Academy have to create our own Supercross series with a 12 whoop minimum and make it Supercross again? Or do we have to accept that it's just different?
I think we might have to. Honestly, I think I see where you're coming from. There are glimpses of like, okay, I also see promoter perspective as well, because I think they're tasked with making something that's exciting, but also kind of safe for their riders, right? Because you don't want them to go, ass over tea cut all the time, but also add in elements that kind of unique. I think they don't want to have things be stagnant. Where like we're asking for, dude, give me Phoenix 07, give me, what was it, Orlando 06, give me like some of those cool tracks that we saw Ricky, Stu, those guys like really dominant. Give me Dallas 05. Oh my gosh, that would be insane. I don't think they want to like replicate what's been done. I think they want to keep things fresh, but by keeping things fresh, it's kind of making it not as exciting for the avid fan. You know what I mean? For the people that are watching it for 20 something years. So I see your perspective. And there are sections where it's like, man, that ain't really Supercross, right? Did we even have like a really big like triple? Usually we get like 2 per track. This one, I don't remember.
Oh yeah, there wasn't.
There
was, but it's like they're so small now,
almost.
and
yeah. So I kind of miss the tracks of like yesteryear. I really do miss the tracks that we saw guys really doing some cool stuff on. And I think you've been on
separating people.
So yes,
I don't.
You've been on record saying this, and I think Hill most recently said this. It's not like it's the speeds that are getting people hurt. That's scary. It's not so much the obstacles of like, well, doing a quad here or a triple or this out of that stuff's really, you guys are professionals. You guys know how to handle it. It's really the speed at which they're making the riders go now. Track design. That's like sketchy side. So.
That's always been my theory, and many people have disagreed with that. I saw Hill talking about it, and I think he articulated it extremely well. Seems like a smart individual.
For sure.
I love Gypsy does such a good job of like having a platform. I can't wait to have more of a solidified studio to where we can fly people in and just have an easier home base for, speaking of Winchester, of flying people in to have longer format conversations, because you get to see sides of people that like you've never really seen. Exactly. So Hill was super cool to listen to, but it was like the words were coming out of my mouth. Speeds. He basically said the danger comes with the speed, right? So build the technical sections so that people will go slower because they either can't do it or it's just so technical that naturally your speed is slower.
Yes.
You might have more frequent crashes, but when you do, at least they're not like somebody threw a grenade at you and you just explode yourself.
Exactly.
There was multiple sections on this track at A1 where you do the whoops, the sand corner and then that section after the sand, like that's a dangerous type of section. You're slingshotting yourself out of a sand section, jumping a little kicker of a thing, 100 feet it looked like. And I saw so many people get like a crazy endo off. I'm like, that is what causes a career-ending type of crash. That style of obstacle at that speed. So in the section that Malcolm crashed in, not in the way that Malcolm crashed exactly, because he kind of crashed more in the sand part of it, but had Malcolm have made it 15 feet further, it would have been way worse. For sure. Yeah, I don't know. And so it just makes me slightly less interested. I did watch the whole way through. I watched the heat races. The LCQs were awesome. The main events last night, but I don't know. Give me some whoops back. I don't watch it and go, man, I want to race again. I watch it and go, oh, you know what? I'm glad that I'm watching this from not just in my couch. I was under the covers in bed on mute, just watching on my phone. If you guys enjoyed this podcast clip and you want to listen to full episodes, you can do so on Spotify and Apple Music. If you want to send in your own video submission, you can join us in the Moto Academy family inside of the Moto Academy app by just going to themotoacademy.com. That's also where you can sign up for a class. Okay, guys, see you next episode.